It's time for another Out of Bounds Rewind with Bo Bounds on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Now, what do you hear from your Alabama colleagues, alums, and so on about where this is headed?
Yeah, I don't know that I hear anything that would be surprising or out of the ordinary. Obviously, this is the first time during this Saban run that there's no doubt that someone has passed Alabama. You had the time where Clemson won 2 national titles in the 3-year span, but Alabama won the one in between the 2 that Clemson won, and they also won the one before Clemson started, and then they won again before Clemson ever won again. So, I mean, there were people at a certain point that were trying to make an argument that, maybe Clemson has passed Alabama or at least caught them. But in this case, when you win 2 in a row, then there's no question that you are now the team to beat. And Georgia is. And so Alabama, like you said, they are the hunters. They're not the hunted. Georgia is the hunted in the SEC and nationally. Now, I mean, to keep it in perspective, Alabama still finished number 2 and number 5 in those 2 seasons, and it's not like they fell off a cliff. But you're looking at a lot of unknown going into the season, because it's not just that, okay, now they're clearly the number 2 team in the SEC, but on top of it, they are replacing both coordinators. They are replacing their starting quarterback. And where do they go from here? I don't know, but it's one of those that you feel like if this were to result in another season that they didn't reach the college football playoff, or they don't win the SEC, then I think the people who want to declare the dynasty over really have a lot of ammunition. At this point, look, the best argument you have is simply that Saban's getting older. Because the results on the field have, while it's shown that Alabama is not at the level of Georgia, it's not like the rest of the country has caught up to Alabama. So I think you got to go one more. Look, and the other thing about it is that since Saban got there, they have never gone more than 2 years in a row without winning the national title, and that's where they are right now. 2 in a row. They 2 years in a row they didn't win it, but there hasn't yet been 3 straight years without winning it. And so if they don't do it here, then you can say, okay, this is new ground. This is the longest drought that they've had, and we'll see where it goes. But at this point, for all those who've been hoping for the end of this thing for about 10 years, this is the first time you're finally starting to see just a little twinkle of light at the end of that tunnel.
Don't miss one moment of the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Weekdays, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.